Hello and thank you for joining me. So my 16-year-old is currently studying for his GCSEs, or I should say seems to be avoiding studying for his GCSEs. When he does study, he seems to favour his own learning methods over the ones I'd recommend. I've encouraged him to write stuff down, something that always helped me and I believe helps memorise stuff. But with the AI tools that are now available that summarise text and provide instant answers, he prefers his own approaches that weren't available in my time. So this made me question whether my methods were no longer relevant for Gen Z. And I started looking into this and I came across Richard Meyer's cognitive theory of multimedia learning, which explains how we learn in today's screen-based era. According to Meyer, when learning with screens, we process information through two primary channels, oral and visual, which makes sense. However, these channels have limited capacity and we can have cognitive overload quite quickly when too much information is presented simultaneously. Effective learning, therefore, in order to effectively learn, we must actively filter, select and organise and integrate information, often based on our prior knowledge of what we bring to it. Meyer proposed 12 principles for optimising learning with technology. While some seem obvious, others are maybe less intuitive. So the first one is coherence principle. People learn better when irrelevant words and images are removed. So less is more. Eliminate distractions like humorous graphics. Signalling principle number 2. Learning improves when content is structured with clear cues showing what's important, headlines, etc. Number 3, redundancy principle. Graphics and narration are more effective than combining graphics, narration and on-screen text. So effectively saying ditch the subtitles. Spatial cognitive principles, number 4. Related words and images should be placed close together. Don't make my brain work more than it needs to. Temporal cognitive principle. Words and images that support one another should be presented simultaneously, not sequentially. Again, don't make my brain work where it doesn't need to. Segmenting principle. Present knowledge in small manageable chunks to avoid cognitive overload. Makes sense. Pre-training principle. Students learn better when they're given preparatory kind of content beforehand so they know what they're coming into. The modality principle. Spoken words are more effective than printed text, so video works. Multimedia principle. Combining images and words is more effective than using images alone or images in the words. Personalization principle. Conversational language is far easier to understand than formal styles. And then the voice principle. Human voices unsurprisingly perform much better than robotic ones when aiding learning. Luckily the AI is catching up with that. Image principle. Adding a person's face or image doesn't improve learning, so voiceovers actually suffice. Now applying these principles will help us select and process and connect incoming information with our long-term memory and therefore learn effectively. So perhaps my son, after all, can learn effectively from TikTok, but only if the content is well designed and thoughtfully structured. So in the words of Naz, read more, learn more, change the globe. Thanks very much for listening. Have a good weekend.